Welcome to another explainer. Today, we're diving into a chapter that is going to totally flip how you think about art, history, and, believe it or not, hard science. We're exploring how ancient Indian regional dances act as this incredible bridge, connecting fluid societal shifts and deeply spiritual traditions straight over to the hard mathematics of geometry and rhythm. So if you thought dance was just about moving to the music, well, prepare to have your mind completely opened. Let me hit you with a question that might sound kind of wild at first. What do 6th century rituals, gender fluidity, and math have in common? I mean, at first glance, these seem like entirely unrelated subjects, right? You'd study them in completely different classrooms. But traditional Indian regional dances beautifully challenge all our assumptions. As we'll see in this chapter, they weave history, identity, and hard science into a single, breathtaking tapestry. Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. Roots in the Bhakti movement. 2. Blurring gender lines. 3. Transforming traditional roles. 4. The geometry of dance. And 5. Calculating the rhythm. Let's get right into it. Section 1. Roots in the Bhakti movement. If we jump way back to the 6th and 7th centuries AD, we hit the Bhakti movement. This was a massive shift in expanding the roots of regional classical dances. Basically, instead of exclusive elite rituals, devotion became personal. It broke down a huge barrier by making spiritual and moral values easily accessible to everyday people. During the temple puja era, dancers like the Devadasis and Tevadikchis in the south and the Maharis of Odisha served the deity directly inside the temples. Then it moved outward into a whole storytelling era. You had Kathakars in the north enacting rituals and praising Lord Shiva's Tandava for the public, while the Satarayas of Assam and the Bhagavatars performed 64 distinct rituals through dance. Dance literally became the ultimate tool for public storytelling. Moving on to Section 2, Blurring Gender Lines. Take a look at the Ardhanarishwara painting. It is a single face, right? But it's split perfectly down the middle with traditional dance makeup, depicting Lord Shiva on one side and Goddess Parvati on the other. This brilliantly illustrates a core concept in these dances. The divine and how we express it is not confined by binary gender. The masculine and the feminine coexist perfectly within the exact same artistic space. And this historical fluidity wasn't just some abstract theory, it was literal. Think about the Gotipua dance from Odisha. While the Maharis performed inside the temples, the Gotipuas performed out in public. These were young boys, dressed up as girls, performing highly complex acrobatic movements. The art form demanded a certain expression, and honestly, it didn't matter if the performer was male or female. They just stepped into the character completely, breaking right through the barrier of gender limitation. Which brings us perfectly to Section 3, Transforming Traditional Roles. We can really see this evolution when we put two distinct dance forms side by side. Take Lavani from Maharashtra, usually performed by women in stunning red saris. Now contrast that with Yakshagana from Karnataka, with those incredibly vibrant, heavy costumes that were historically only worn by men. But the art of dance, it refuses to stay in rigid boxes. The big takeaway here is that today, those old constraints are being totally shattered. Mohiniyattam used to be exclusively for women. Kathakali and Yakshagana, strictly men. Today, those rules are gone. Lavani and Bhangra are now openly practiced by both girls and boys. Stances and gaits are no longer limited by gender at all. Performers today are empowered to blend elements from all sorts of styles to create their own unique expressions, enthusiastically breaking traditional norms. To really ground this, we've got to talk about Jogate Munjama. She is a path-breaking personality highlighted in our source chapter who heavily influenced the development of the Jogati dance in Karnataka. She didn't just perform, she actively broke down barriers of gender identity. She perfectly encapsulates this whole theme of transcending societal boundaries through the sheer power of cultural expression. All right, Section 4, the geometry of dance. Okay, switch gears with me for a second. Imagine trying to build perfect geometric shapes, triangles, circles, rectangles, squares, using nothing but your own arms and legs. Notice the distinct, sharp angles in the seated posture and the arms of the dancer right here. She's forming a very clear, deliberate triangular shape. It's not an accident. When you watch a traditional Indian regional dance, you are literally watching geometry in motion. It sounds crazy, but mathematics and dance complement each other perfectly. Dancing fundamentally involves geometrical postures. When a choreographer maps out formations on a stage, they are actively using geometrical patterns. And the movements themselves? They happen in a strict mathematical rhythm. The beat that we blindly tap our feet to is, at its core, just a brilliant arithmetical pattern. And that leads us right into Section 5, calculating the rhythm. To really get how this works, we need to define a crucial term, talas. Talas are basically the different permutations and combinations of rhythmic units used to build those dance formations. This is the absolute heartbeat of classical dance, and it is quite literally a mathematical equation. Dancers are literally calculating on the fly to create these complex patterns. Maybe they group 2 beats plus 2 beats to get a 4-beat total rhythm, or they mix 3 beats and 4 beats for a 7-beat rhythm. They have to calculate these combinations continuously in real time. They are completely blending left-brain arithmetic with right-brain artistry. It is just phenomenal when you really think about it. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with something to chew on. If a single dance performance can seamlessly smash together ancient temple history, fluid gender identity, geometry, and arithmetic, what other societal or intellectual barriers might be broken through the arts? What else are we keeping in separate boxes that actually belong together? Think about it. Thanks so much for joining me today to explore this incredible chapter. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.